Here's episode 6 of Girls, The Return. It's basically co-written by Judd Apatow, so Judd Apatow really got into this episode as executive producer. So it's another cliche within the cliche of Girls, which is, like I said, again and again, it's like there's so many cliches in this episode, but it's sort of like that's the point, that's the whole point of this series, where it's like we're so enmeshed with our pulp culture kind of ingrained in it, so we have these kind of episodes. So basically she goes back home to Michigan and for her parents' 30th anniversary. And by the way, nice like middle to age or old nudity scene going on in this movie, where it's like, whoa, you get to see some old age penis and some old age breasts, which you don't see very often. So not that I was attracted, I just kind of interesting in the sexual scene. And of course, the father was doing the mom from behind, which is like the metaphor of maybe he's gay because he doesn't see the girl, whatever. Anyways, so basically the return is about she goes back home to Michigan, and it's the whole the question that nobody ever talks about, but it is an important question, especially for someone who's brought up in a small town and lives in the big city now. It's like, why live in the big city? What's the point? It's almost like the big city's like your master and you're the slave, and it's like, and the whole question is, does New York City want you? Does New York City really want you to be in the city? Because it's really, what is it doing for you? Like, is it doing enough for you to like spend all that money and basically kind of like, where it's like in middle America, like the Michigan, like in this episode, where it's like people seem a little bit happier, or more, not happier, but more kind of comfort, or more like, it's like there's not enough choices. So basically there's like the scientist was saying to me the other day, why are married people happier than single people? Because there's less choices to be made in the relationship, whatever that means, meaning that generally the less choices you have, you can be happy, because the whole secret of life is sometimes it's better not to know what you don't know, because if you do know it, then basically it leads to your mind to go into different tangents, and maybe you're not going to be as happy as you are. So basically that's the whole metaphor of her going back to Michigan. Is like, is it worth living in the big city? Because this seems to be pretty okay, I guess, you know what I mean? It's nothing spectacular, but you know, like obviously the rent's going to be a lot cheaper, and you're not going to have money problems anymore, and you're kind of more connected because you're brought up there. Connected in terms of, like, you know, you can be helped out more as a job. Where when you live in the big city, it's almost like man against 15 million people who are in the Manhattan area, kind of a thing, where it's like everybody's kind of like fighting against themselves. So then that's what this episode's about. Very rich, very well written. Almost could be a movie. This is how good the episode is. And it was only 30 minutes long. That's my review.